I want to talk to you urgently about your immune system. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. If this is your first visit, welcome. Please consider joining us and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. Okay, so yes, I wanted to talk to you urgently because, here in the UK yesterday, things haven't changed an awful lot for us, let's put it that way. However, we are kind of being allowed out a little bit more. And from what I'm hearing, that's happening also in the US. So because of that, and because we know so little about what we're meant to do, and in the UK also there's been, should we wear masks, should we not, to protect ourselves, and all of those kind of things, I wanted to talk to you about something that is evidence-based that is going to help us. So I'm going to crack on with it. Okay, now I'm talking about vitamin D. If you remember when I went to Crete, a beautiful Greek island, just after Charlotte died, we went to, I think it was September, and it was very warm. And I told you that I spent the first 10 minutes every day getting sunshine without sunscreen. And one or two people kind of took me to task over that a little bit. But I did it because I know how good vitamin D is for us. And I also know that in the UK we are particularly deficient in it. I've talked about that before. And so what I did, and I'll do again, is spent the first 10 minutes without sun cream and then started to use sun cream. So I was being quite sensible about it. Well, and I also take a vitamin D supplement. Now, my curiosity, which is a strength of mine, by the way, got the better of me, and I started to do a little bit of research on some of the things that we've been being told about COVID-19 and so on. And it turns out that there is a link between vitamin D and it. So we know that vitamin D increases our immune response. There is evidence, lots of evidence for that. We know that it fends off colds and flu, as you can see here. I'm showing one or two pieces of evidence here. There is tons of research being done, and I'm going to leave some links to some research papers down below, so you know this is not just me and my opinion. So we actually get vitamin D from fatty foods such as tuna and mackerel and salmon. I do believe eggs as well, but mostly we get it from sunshine. Vitamin D is produced in the skin as a result of exposure to sunlight. Interestingly, and I'll come back to it in a second, the darker your skin colour, the slower the production of vitamin D. And as I'm going to come back to that in a second. Now, it's just completely gone out of my head what I was going to say to you. I wonder if vitamin D helps brain function. I bet it does. So, we know all these things about vitamin D. Despite the fact that we know all these things, as I've said to you, in the UK, most of us are vitamin D deficient, I would like to bet. In the US, around 42% of people have a vitamin deficiency, and this number rises to above 60% for those people of colour. This is important. It's so important that we should not only be getting a certain level of vitamin D, but even more than that if we're going to build our immune response system. And we need, ladies, we need our response, our immune response to be firing on all cylinders if we are going to be going out there amongst people who may be passing these things along. Now, interesting research I want you to have a look at here. Evidence-based study, and this is not by some kind of fly-by-night person. This is the British Medical Journal. Evidence-based study that vitamin D reduces the possibility of contracting respiratory tract bacterial and viral infections. Let me say that again. evidence-based study that vitamin D reduces the possibility of contracting respiratory tract, bacterial and viral infections. And not only that, it reduces the severity of the infection if you have it. Okay. Wow, I mean, this is so incredibly profound. So, evidence showing also that supplements reduce the risk of contracting respiratory tract disease. What? When I read that, oh my goodness, why didn't I know that? And it's not as if it isn't around. You only have to, do a little bit of research on this to see what's going on. So this meta-study from the British Medical Journal assessed the overall effect of vitamin D on the risk of acute respiratory tract infection, and that's what they found. It was a randomised double-blind placebo-controlled trial, which is the best kind of research that you can do. People who take vitamin D had fewer chest infections and they were less severe. Just so that you know, respiratory tract infections, now let me see, where have I've got this, and of course I can't find it now, about the statistics on how many people are actually acutely ill and die with respiratory tract infections. And so this is incredibly important. Now then, what's equally important to us is that a new study has found an association between low average levels of vitamin D and high numbers of COVID-19 cases and mortality rates across 20 European countries. I mean, I think this is absolutely staggering. These are, highly respected pieces of research that are telling us that vitamin D can help us. And so what I'm saying to you is, if you're not taking vitamin D as a supplement, this is something that you can do to help yourself, to increase the strength of your immune system, to help you fend off getting COVID-19. Now the thing is, the levels of how much you've got to take, I can't tell you that because obviously I don't know your health conditions. We know there's a standard, recommended standard amounts, but I'm not so sure about those myself. I mean, NICE, that's in the UK, are recommending 10 mcg, that's micrograms, or if you measure, because it gets measured in different strengths, so there's micrograms and there are IU, I've forgotten what that international unit strength, something like that, I'm not sure. Anyway, NICE are recommending 10 micrograms or 1,000 IU strength of vitamin D supplement. Now, if you're in the country where the sun shines and you're out in the sun a lot, then you may only need to take it in the winter under normal conditions. If you're in the UK or any of the Northern Hemisphere countries, then the recommendation is that you take this vitamin D supplement daily to keep your immune system up. And I'm thinking, when I saw this, I'm going to increase my dosage of vitamin D. Now, in this research that they did, they talked about safe levels of it. I'm going to link it down below so that you can make your own mind up. Please do your own research. If you're not a person to want to take supplements, ask your doctor, give them a call. Should I be taking it? And if so, how much should I be taking? My instinct is we should be taking it. We should all be taking it, and especially taking more of it in order to help us to fend off this ghastly COVID-19. But even when it's all gone, COVID-19, vitamin D, as I've mentioned before, is something that we need to keep our levels up high, just to fend off colds and normal flu. In terms of sunscreen, I'm not going to tell anybody not to wear sunscreen. I said this before. If you can get out in the sun, for a certain length of time, without wearing sunscreen. I could only manage 10 minutes of it. You might be object to that totally. If you cover yourself head to toe, even when you're indoors, and I know some people do, you really need to be taking a vitamin D supplement. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you know anything. I will leave some research papers down below for you to have a look at, and a particular YouTube channel for you to look at on this, just to do your own research so that you know what you're doing and how to do it. But I'm quite excited by this, because I think it's going to help us, especially, as I say, as we all move out of our homes and into wider society. Please share this video to anybody you think might be interested, or if you think it might help them. Of course, you can do that with all of my videos, but especially this one, because I think it's important that we strengthen our immune systems, ready for action and to kick ass to COVID-19. Okay. I know. I need to get out more. See what I did there? Okay, right, I'm going to leave you. I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you next time. And until then, stay safe, and remember that on the Happy Stuff and Fluff, we're getting happy and growing younger. See you next time. Bye-bye.